From St. Cloud, Florida, this is the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
I'm proud of you fellas. You all kept your head on a swivel, and that's what you gotta do when you find yourself in a vicious cockfight.
We're on the website, baby. We're broadcasting all over the world. Doc Show Coast to Coast.
Welcome to the Doc Show Coast to Coast with Doc Holliday.
You'd think he'd change that for show business.
I never say anything dumb. Everything I say is right. You just have to give it some time.
Weeknights, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern.
Oh my God. There's 100 morons in my basement.
And that's what Iran and all its people are. They are sons of the devil. You're going to be sorry you said that.
Give Doc a call, 407-498-3193.
Hey, so can we go to Cuba? You know, because Barack Insane Obama says that Cubans and the Cuban government are no longer terrorists. 50 years it took to figure this out.
Now, I must ask that small children leave, good women avert their eyes, and men take a stiff slug of circus whiskey. Behold, the most hideous creature of all.
Welcome to the Doc Show, Coast to Coast, with Doc Holliday.
Yes, I do.
You pay absolutely no attention to me.
You're not paying attention to stuff that's important in St. Cloud today. We need to give some love to St. Cloud.
Some love or some hate?
Well, how about some awareness? I think that's good in between.
All right, I'll get there. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we need to.
We're talking about this pastor who
we need people's opinions.
Who used his church to get votes to become mayor. The last mayor was crooked, and now we got a crooked pastor in there. That's all we need.
He's not even a mayor, according to Doc. He's a pastor.
He's a pastor.
I mean, that's his profession. That's
Church
his
and state,
that's his
man.
choice. Yeah.
There is no. You can't be both. You got to give up. You got to give up one or the other. Now,
Yeah.
Mike Huckabee is an ordained pastor.
He is an ordained Baptist minister.
All right. Okay. So, well, same thing.
Yeah.
Now,
But that's
if Donald Trump brought Mike Huckabee into the fold, and they had an interview over the weekend, it was very comforting to see that, by the way, because I really like Mike Huckabee a lot. He would have to then stop practicing.
correct, which is what he did in the state of Arkansas.
Correct.
When he was governor. He was no longer a full-time
Right. You
pastor.
can't do that.
Right.
That's the line of church and state. I think it's a good line. There are obviously a lot of politicians that could use some churching, but that's on their own personal time.
Yeah. I mean, I think in all fairness, we are a country founded on Judeo-Christian beliefs. I don't think there's anything wrong with Christians being public officials. I don't think there's anything wrong with Jewish people being public officials.
I'm not saying that at all.
But you do have to. You cannot do it full time, and
You can't let your religion get in the way of your decision making like Muslims do. Okay, because when you elect, like over in London, they have a mayor who is a full-on, full-blooded, Nazi-loving Muslim. And he has taken the town of... I don't even know what they were thinking giving this guy an office. He has not just not given up his religious... or to me, it's a cult. But his cultish beliefs. He's made it worse. He's forced London to take down, we got big billboards running around. You see pretty models on them. Not in London. All gone, all gone, all gone, all gone. He threatens other countries. He's already made threats to Trump. He said if you don't take the refugees, you'll have hell to pay. And Trump's like, bring it on. Bring it on, wacko jacko.
wouldn't be the first time we fought England.
This would be... This is supposed to be one of our biggest allies. And we just seen him in the last 8
Now,
years.
he's just the mayor, though. He's not the prime minister.
No, he's not the prime minister. But as the mayor, he runs London.
Listen to me.
That is the biggest city over there.
He's just the mayor.
And he imposes his Muslim, and we all know that there are no good beliefs in the Muslim beliefs. We all know they're nuts. They're out of their damn minds. And if you don't practice, okay, I respect you. If you're not walking around with a Quran talking about, man, we got to kill people, then I respect you. You were born that way, and according to the laws, unless you baptize out of it, which, of course, at that point makes you a target, you're just better off not practicing. You know, and it doesn't matter whether you go to a mosque, because mosques aren't used for religious purposes. Mosques are used for plotting danger. And that's why so many people are like, we need to shut these things down. Nothing good happens in a mosque. Nothing. Okay? The people, the honest to goodness people who went in there to pray, it was being overrun by the 25 to 35-year-old crazy rapist Muslim male who wouldn't allow them their peace and would speak out against the blue-eyed devil, which is what they call us. And
I have green eyes.
It doesn't matter what color your eyes are. They call us the blue-eyed devil.
I know, but I wanted everybody to know I have hazel green eyes.
The world's going to...
Hey, every night, I promise, every night I'm going to bring you something about Bam Bam Sam. You're going to learn something new about me every night because you've been so responsive to it.
Really?
Yeah. They want to know about you, too, you know.
Everybody knows everything about me.
No, they didn't know the bunk bed story. Remember we talked about bunk beds?
Well, I didn't have bunk beds.
You said you did.
No, I didn't. You did.
No. Oh, man, I'm going to go back now.
You can go back.
You said you and your brother had bunk beds.
No, I didn't. I said I wouldn't sleep in bunk beds. And my family was like, well, bunk bed, blah, 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 blah. It turned out I didn't have to. I never said I slept in a bunk bed. I couldn't sleep. Whether
I'll
I
have
was
to go back to that show.
Whether I was on top or especially if I was on the bottom. Because I would just see that thing come crashing down.
You know what, ladies and gentlemen? If you want to know what Doc really said, all you got to do is subscribe to our YouTube page. You can go back. You can listen to that show. It was last week sometime. And you can call in and tell us, hey, Doc, you said you had bunk beds. Hey, Doc, no, you're right. You didn't say you had bunk beds. But the only way you're going to do that is if you go to our YouTube page and you subscribe. And then you can go ahead and catch all the shows that you missed and replay the ones that you absolutely love, like Bam Bam getting to know her.
Okay. And I said I've slept in bunk beds.
Yeah.
But I did not have bunk beds as a kid.
Okay.
And you'll never find me saying that. I couldn't do it. And part of it is because even as a child, I was claustrophobic.
Really?
Extremely claustrophobic. Now you've thrown me off on what we were talking about.
I'm sorry, but okay. So then I'll just interject and.
Well, what were we talking about?
Well,
I had a point.
we started talking about St. Cloud, and there's a ruckus, and you know you started talking about how you don't think the pastor should be the full-time pastor and the mayor. And I was just going to bring to light some things that happened at the first council meeting because I think it's important. We don't have, you know, unfortunately, when Emily Bean left St. Cloud in the news, we lost our insight to what happens in the St. Cloud City Council meeting. So now I'm going to go back and have to watch them on the St. Cloud website.
Okay.
In the media center. And I've been doing that.
All right.
There's some crazy stuff that people are upset about. So I thought St. Cloud should chime in.
Well, okay, now I did talk about this last week, that we do have a guy who got himself elected mayor.
He did.
Over somebody who was much more qualified.
In my opine.
And much more honest, in my opinion. He was a businessman. And, but this pastor, the hell's his name?
Nathan Blackwell.
Nathan Blackwell, the pastor.
Apparently
Which-
won by like 2,000 votes.
I actually,
Almost evenly.
when I was getting my hair cut last week, I brought it up to the young lady that was cutting
Oh,
my hair.
did you?
And she goes, ugh. And she rolled her eyes. And I said, well, tell me. Because he's mayor now. And I know, but we had that big fat chick in there. And all she did was complain, and they said she was crooked, and now we got a pastor in there that's all going to tell us how to live. And I said, I think you're upset about the wrong thing. I don't see, and I could be wrong. I mean, he's only been in there 4 days.
I know, and he's already getting hell.
But the thing is, church and state are separate. So he used his church, or volunteered the church, as a polling place for the votes, and then was able to lead his flock to vote him in.
Well,
everybody knew that he was running for mayor. Everybody knew.
Okay.
And when a pastor starts to speak to your soul, and he gets into you about the Lord, and you let it go, you listen, and all this, and then you just know, and that man's running for mayor, he's got your vote on the way out. He's got your vote. And it's wrong. He did it the wrong way. I'd like him to come in here and tell me why he did it the right way. Because I think, and there's not any investigations, because who the hell cares? But the bottom line is, I think he snuck his way in, darting the rules. And if you're going to have a church where, hey, lying is a sin, I think being the mayor and what supposedly went down at the last meeting, that makes you a hypocrite.
Well, in his defense, since I've been in St. Cloud for the past 11 years, that church has been used as a polling place. So, and that's obviously before he even had a vision of running for the mayor of St. Cloud. So I'm not one of these citizens that's overly concerned about, you go to cast your vote at a church, because unfortunately we don't have any other means. What are we going to do?
True.
Where are we going to go?
Places there were you could vote?
Where?
It was all over the damn place. What do you tell me? There was only one place where you could vote in the city of St. Cloud. Only one.
No, there wasn't only one, but...
Thank you.
But they can't have just one. They've got to have a number for different parts of St. Cloud. And anyway, that's not the fight I'm willing to fight, because that's not a...
That's the fight.
I don't think
you
that's
should
a huge,
be fighting.
I don't think that's a huge deal.
Because he was in there shaping the minds of people.
Okay,
and, by the way, and it's written all over the inside of his church.
Okay, so
vote here. And guess who's running? Your pastor's running.
Okay, but the thing is that not everybody in his congregation could have voted there anyway. Not everybody in his congregation even lives in the city limits to be able to vote.
We don't
so
know
again, that is a small portion of it. My bigger concern is, and I pose it to the residents of St. Cloud. So if you go to our Facebook page, which is Doc Holliday's Phoenix Rising Radio Network, and you give us a like, you can scroll down the page, and there's a couple of videos posted from the city council meeting on Thursday. So last Thursday, they were sworn in, and there was, the regular meeting, whatever. And the citizens of St. Cloud seem to be extremely upset because the mayor appears to have belittled a 95-year-old World War II veteran when he came up to speak on something, and he was speaking out of turn. It wasn't quite that time to bring up that topic. And he just abruptly, this was the first incident that night, abruptly said, "Sir, I need you to sit down." And the video is up on our Facebook page. So the question becomes, was he harsh with the gentleman? Was this appropriate behavior? Or was it just that the gentleman was out of turn. So that's part of it. But then the gentleman comes up again during open forum for citizens at the end of the meeting. And when he comes up to the podium again, and keep in mind, again, he's 95 years old. He's a World War II veteran. His name is Dan. He's actually taken the face of St. Cloud residents right now because people are backing him and supporting him. And he came up to the podium and he said, in the month of June, I was gone for 28 days, and that was the highest water bill I'd ever received. And
he was unaware of what had gone on because he was gone. And the guy who never pays his water bill, what's his name?
Chuck Cooper.
Chuck Cooper, who was a lying thief,
was elected back to city council because he sat there one time before.
The idiots elected a thief who didn't never pay his bill. And Mr. Pastor, Mr. I love God and I love you, my 95-year-old brother, laughed at this kid, or 95-year-old man, laughed at him and made fun of him and mocked him.
Correct. He said, what
kind of pastor is that?
And the actual, well, you know what? Rather than me actually try to go ahead and, why don't I actually play the clip for you so that you can hear it? Give me 2 seconds.
Okay. I'm just saying, you put a pastor up in there, man, and he gets a taste of, he's only making $16,000 a year, and that's actually below poverty level. But there's a lot of people that could use $16,000 a year.
I was going to say, so here it is.
I don't hear anything.
And they're talking water.
Hey.
I was gone for 28 days in June.
It's not going over
I
there.
had the highest water bill I've had in the complex. And I was gone 28 days.
I hear it.
It's not going over the air.
It was obviously working. Overtime. Anyone else like to speak? If not, move on to the information.
Well, whatever that was, I couldn't hear it. What's that?
Oh, that you heard, but you couldn't hear?
No, I could not hear what you played.
Okay, it was the actual comment. I heard it through my headset, so I don't know why you didn't hear it through yours.
Because it's not on the air.
It was on the air. But anyway, I'm not going to argue with you.
All right, well, what was the point of that?
Well, the point of that...
You're going to have to fill me in because I didn't hear it.
Okay, well, the point of that was that the mayor, when he said, I was gone for 28 days in the month of June, and I get back and I get the highest water bill ever. So the mayor's comment to him was, well, I guess your meter was working then. Overtime. Ha, 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 ha. And he looks to Chuck Cooper and says, ha, 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 ha. And Chuck Cooper's the one that, didn't pay his water bill for like 2 years and settled the deal where he only had to pay like $62 for the time that he didn't pay his bill. And, so instead of saying to the gentleman, oh, well, we'll look into it, he just, kind of chuckled and laughed and said, well, I guess that means your meter was working, sir. Overtime. Ha, 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 ha. And then he looks at Chuck Cooper, and Chuck Cooper starts laughing.
But nobody gives this old man an explanation.
No.
All right, so
and honestly, he's 95 years old. And, he made a couple of comments throughout the evening's meeting as I watched. So, my question is whether this man was becoming a little bit of a nuisance throughout the meeting or not. Don't you, as the mayor, owe him the common courtesy not to, some people I've been reading Facebook posts, and some people are like, oh, well, the mayor was just making light of it because, there were a couple of times that they brought up Chuck Cooper and not paying the appropriate water bill. And, there were times that somebody addressed where the statute was about about how Chuck Cooper resolved his water bill and things like that. So that came up a couple of times as well. And it's not going to go away because the people that attend these meetings are the people that fought against the fire fee, the people that raised the questions about the water bills, and the concerned citizens that voted for Jeff Reinhart. And so, the question becomes, was it appropriate? And even if the mayor thought that was just making light of Chuck Cooper's issues and his lack of trust, was his behavior appropriate? Or should he have just been like, well, sir, we'll look into it? This gentleman was upset. He was upset because he got told to sit down because he started speaking about something out of turn. And rather than just saying, okay, sir, the first time the mayor said, okay, sir, we'll bring that up during, this is when you bring this up. But then when the gentleman continued, the mayor scolded him to sit down. It's not appropriate. Just like we said with Rebecca Borders, when people were against what she was standing for and would bring an opposing opinion, she would scold them and she would get nasty and she would get mean. And the citizens didn't like it. So why in God's creation would they put up with this guy doing the same thing? They shouldn't, first of all. But, I just, the consensus after watching the meeting and hearing the citizens throughout the meeting, the overall theme was their disappointment, the citizens that showed up, in the fact that Chuck Cooper has not done the right thing and has not spoken up and said, I apologize to the city for not having paid what I owed on the water bill, because the reality is that whether his meter was broken or not, the reality is that the other citizens that didn't have broken meters were the ones that were paying the price by the rates jumping up for the people that did have broken meters.
All right, and so that, it takes us back to that time.
Right.
And, I wish somebody would let me know if they could have heard that, because I'm not really sure what I'm commenting on. But the bottom line is he laughed at the guy. I heard him laugh at the guy. Mm-hmm. And the 95-year-old man did have a very strong speaking voice.
He did.
So he made himself heard.
He did.
And he says he comes back, and he wasn't here for 28 days, yet his highest bill was when he wasn't here.
Right.
He's talking to this alleged reverend or pastor.
He's approaching the council as a whole.
Now, he is asking a question that is 5 months old, but remember, he wasn't here.
Right.
And he's 95. It probably took him a while to get on down to city council. Why then do the preacher and the thief who sit on the city council, why do they laugh him off and then blow him off? I don't get it. Somebody would like to tell me where all this is going. Because that makes him just a big douchebag like Rebecca Borders was a big douchebag.
Well, and now here's scenario number 3 as well, which is also up on our Facebook page. And I'm just looking for yay or nay or, from the citizens if they felt that this was appropriate. But apparently, Mayor Blackwell's daughter, her name is Ashley Blackwell Smith, she decided to take a selfie during the council meeting with her cell phone. And she takes a picture. She has all of the council members in the background. It appears that it may have been either during a break or before the meeting came to session. But she posts with the picture, attending my first city council meeting with the new mayor as the first daughter. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, well, that's ha, because ain't nobody calling you the first daughter.
I mean, who the hell does that? Is this a popularity contest?
Is she like a...
I mean, she's older. She's
no, hold on. What's older?
She's probably in her 30s, maybe 40s.
That's not old.
Well, I mean, she's not a teenager is what I'm getting at.
Okay.
She's not dog ugly, no. But who does that? We don't have first children. What do you think this is the presidency of the United States? Like, that annoyed me. That annoyed me because to me, that was small town politics that just showed it was about a popularity contest.
All right,
so I've restored no faith in the fact that this man is actually running for the fact that he wants to do something for our community as much as this was a popularity contest. Who does that?
Okay, so we have a pastor that I think was elected knowingly using God and the things people listen to in his church. I don't care how many people.
And, of course, the comments on our Facebook page are, maybe she'll lead the Christmas parade as the first daughter.
I don't.
Our podunk Christmas parade here in St. Cloud, please.
I'm not sure if it matters who voted as opposed to who goes to his church. I'm pretty sure his congregation that was eligible to vote for him did. I just think he got in crookedly, if I may use that word. It's not bigly like Donald Trump, but it's
No, you can't use bigly.
Crookedly.
Crookedly.
And so these guys made fun of a 95-year-old man.
You know, and I get it. He came up a couple of times. He was a little more.
Well, he got pissed.
But
he's 95.
You know, and
time you can't waste any time.
Well, and he wasn't hiding, because the first time when he got told to sit down, he was coming up to talk about how he felt that it wasn't a fair election for Jeff Reinhart, because on the ballot, and you remember, Doc, when you voted, the ballot didn't read mayor. It just said seat 1.
Yes.
Well, you know, he was saying, how did I know?
Most of us should have known that.
Most of us should have known that. I agree with you. I think he said, I've only been living here 3 months. I didn't know seat 1 was the mayor, but if you knew who you were voting for and you saw the guy's name there, then why didn't you just vote for the guy?
And if he's only been living here 3 months, it's more proof he used the church to gather votes.
Well, this guy was a Reinhardt supporter.
Who?
The citizen. The citizen that
I thought you said the preacher said that.
No. The 95-year-old man came up to the podium and said that it wasn't a fair election to Jeff Reinhart. Yeah.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, and he said Jeff Reinhart actually came to his house and actually spoke to him, and then the citizen also called Mayor Blackwell, but Mayor Blackwell never returned his phone calls, so he was very upset about it.
He doesn't return calls because
he doesn't respond to messages. He doesn't return phone calls. So the angry citizens, they send me, and I'm not naming names, but the angry citizens, they send me the media leaks, and I'm going to post them for you guys, because you know what? I'm so tired of this shady crap, you know? And I'm sorry, you know, I hope he does a good job, but I don't think he will. I see a lot of raised taxes in our future. I see a lot of businesses closing. I see a lot of worry in town from small business owners, and it's not promising. It's not promising at all.
What do you base that on?
Well, people are worried. I've talked to some
just from people's comments. And I've talked to some small business owners that are not part of the St. Cloud clique, if you will. Some that have just started businesses recently. Is it because that he's unqualified to be a mayor, or is it because he's a pastor?
No, I think it's the fear that he does not have a business sense. And
he's got a business sense. He knows to tell those people to tithe their 10%.
Well,
he's doing fundraising every Sunday.
Well, you can't fundraise for the city of St. Cloud. I mean,
he fundraises for himself.
It doesn't work that way. So the thing is that I think the local business owners that are not part of the St. Cloud clique, and when I say the St. Cloud clique, I mean the people that were born and raised here, and their businesses are supported by the other people that were born and raised here. And it is what it is. You know, the people that the chamber always uses them, so that's how they sustain their business. The cliques that I can't stand anymore. I mean, that's why we're not a member of the chamber anymore. You know, I spent more money being a member of the Chamber of Commerce to go to events and do different things on top of my membership fee, and nobody ever tossed any business our way because we weren't part of the clique, if you will.
Well, I will tell you this, and I don't mind saying it, and I'll defend it. And if you, somebody from the Chamber of Commerce wants to call and piss on me, that's fine. I think they ripped us off.
Oh, they tried to stick me with a bill for a sponsorship that I never agreed to.
We used it.
And I fought that.
Sat down, put the heads together, and said, you know what? This is I thought, too much money, but I said, we've got to get known. So we went to these meetings, and I met people, and you met people, and we got out, and we got into areas where people could see, the radio station, and we could shake their hands and say, yeah, I know. Well, it's a new kind of station. It's a streaming station. There's streaming television now. And, they didn't care. But the bottom line was I made friends, and we've had...
There have been a few that...
We've had Pizza Pete with us.
Right.
We've had...
Dr. Christina?
Dr. Christina, who we haven't seen in ages, and I wonder what's going on with her.
I couldn't tell you.
Is
She got
okay?
a new car. Yeah, she got a new car.
She got a new car?
Yeah, she did. She got a new Ford.
Well,
She likes it. And she's going to Arkansas. I saw on Facebook for Thanksgiving to be with her family.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, other than the select few, most people were not receptive to us, and I just couldn't see spending any more money to, put into the pockets of the St. Cloud Chamber of Commerce. I'm sorry.
You got a chance. We offered all the politicians their own shows. We gave them a chance to go out, and if you hear me say something negative about you that you don't like, we gave them a chance to rebuttal. Gave them everything.
So.
And that's why there's no media here. There's no friggin' media. Because they just don't they don't even know what it is.
There were a select few that took that opportunity, and to the select few that took that opportunity, I thank you.
And you're welcome back.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want Reinhardt back here so I can talk about... Jesus, hold your tongue.
Just come on in. We'll drink root beers.
Yeah, the good ones.
We'll just drink root beers.
Come
Jeff.
on, man. It's
we don't have to talk politics in St. Cloud. We'll just talk about your establishment, your club. That's all. The band you got coming in.
Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
Let's find out where do people go around here to have a good time.
Yeah. There you go.
Orlando. It's 2 minutes after the hour. I'm just saying, man, you got a mayor who deceived people. And you have a thief who didn't pay his damn bills, and you reelected him. So that doesn't tell me much about the people that were doing the electing. That doesn't tell me much about the voters. I mean, thank God America was saved from Hillary Clinton, but it was close. And I really started wondering, what the hell's wrong with America? And I think the people that voted in the local elections here are a bunch of knuckle draggers. It's 3 minutes after the hour. And you got a shady priest. Or a pastor.
He's not a priest.
Priests
Pastor. Are not allowed to hold full-time jobs.
Pope. Whatever he is.
And that one plus for the Catholic Church.
What, they're not allowed
They're not allowed to have full-time positions. Their full-time positions are their ministries.
Well, they got to make money somehow.
The church pays them.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But they take a vow of poverty, so... The stipend that they get from the church, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Oh, these people have to live. Well, they have to live.
I understand
they
that.
They have to eat.
I understand
that. They have to pay bills. I'm sure the stipend isn't as small as you think it is. It's 3 after 8, right here with the Doc Show.
It's not like $200 a month, but,
It's what?
I said it's not like it's $200 a month. I'm sure it's minimum wage, maybe.
That'd be fine for some people.
But they most of them live in like a convent or a church. Well, not a convent, but...
Some of them live in the church.
A rectory. That's what they call it.
Yeah, watch that. Hey, you Catholics ought to be damn happy that people like me spoke up and helped persuade the public to vote for Trump. Because Hillary was going to cut the Catholic Church in half. She hates Catholics. Much as... my disdain for Muslims, some of you just don't understand it, and that's just because you're weak of mind. But she hates Catholics. Now, if you don't understand that, that means you're smart and you're thinking, because why the hell would she hate Catholics? What did they do to her? I don't know. Anyway, it's 4 after.